Here is the front chest armor of the VF-1S, VF-0S armored reactive armored kit. Good detail on this, and I'm going to talk about these little details soon. But right now, it's done, completed. I'll put that to the side. But I want to peel off some of the tape of these parts that are now dry, and I wanted to see how they look. Some parts I've already peeled off the tape to make sure it worked, looks good. Others I did not. Let me just double check this. I'm going to probably end up revisiting these parts again for painting, but let's see how they look overall. Yeah, that looks good. This has a black section here and here that I was going to paint, but I have these decals here that I think I can put them on for this. That looks good on this. So I'm going to end up using one of these for this. I don't think I could use the photo etch parts, but regardless of the case, it looks okay. This one is this side here, so we'll do that. That came out okay. You know what? I'm sorry, I don't know if the lighting looks good on this. I just put a white light bulb on this, but the lamp on the top here is not strong enough. I should put another lamp here to the side. There's a little lightness there. Don't know if my airbrush caught it or not. Probably end up revisiting this part, and of course there are these notches here that has to be painted as well. So now I actually painted this not realizing that these two little vents here, even though look really nice, is literally going to be covered up by this part here. So yeah, did not know that. No problem. You know what? There's a lot of parts that people have done that painted, you know, the inside of something, and in order for you to see it, you have to actually remove it to show it. And majority of the time, people don't show it. They paint it. They spent like hours detailing it, and it's never shown. The most common culprit will be inner armored parts from Gundams, where there's a lot of detail in the armored part of the in the inner frame. The skeletal structure, yet after doing all that work they end up covering it up with the armored parts, so it all defeats the purpose. Now this one is 3 colors in one here for this one. Just don't know how well it came out. Come on. Darn it, I didn't realize that a little... Oh wait, that's actually more powder than paint. Alright, so this came out great. The only difference is though that I guess a little bit of residual of the white came on this. So I'm going to have to revisit this later on. But other than that, it looks good. Let's work on this guy. This one took forever and a half. I think I mentioned before that I cut half circles to put it on this. good. The leading edges has some sort of highlight there, probably left over from the white part, from the gray part from around it. But what I think I'm going to do is using a panel line marker or a wash. I'll go around it to highlight it a bit and cover up the holes. Don't see anything going on here other than there's a part there and there that needs to be maybe covered up a bit, but yeah, that came out pretty nice though. Alright, this one I'm a little worried about. Let's see how this comes out. Now definitely I was not going to do the inside of this because that's going to be covered up entirely. You can't barely see it, but one would argue you should have done the back. All these masking tapes. Stuck to my fingers. There we go. See, that came out okay. That came out nice. Except that there's a little highlight here of the gray. I don't know if that's going to be covered up entirely. But I could always mask this part off and respray paint it a light coat of the blue. Now I'm noticing something odd. This one's a lot lighter than this. Wow. Maybe I have to revisit that part. Let's see this one. This is the last one. Alright, that came out okay. A little bit of the gray I missed here. The metallic that I put here and here came out nice. I didn't, paint these because I think maybe I'll probably pass a little marker there to show it, to give it a highlight. Yeah. Well, it was okay. It looks okay, I guess. Some parts needs to be revisited, while others I'm now seeing that I may have to do another heavier pass. But there are other parts here that we need to review. So give me time to clean up the table and we'll review these parts completely and see how they came out. Alrighty. Here is everything on display that makes up the VF-0S Reactive Armored Valkyrie, or the Phoenix, or that somebody told me to call it. And I'm just doing a final review and inspection on all these parts. For starters, I worked on this part here, which these little pegs here were separate, and I didn't realize that, maybe I should have glued it on first before I painted it. There's an outline on this, and if you put these pegs right over it, it doesn't always conform to the size of these of the outline. So it looks a little weird. I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe the lighting is not that very good. I gotta get another lamp where I may have to bring this one up here and then bring it up like that. There we go. So it's a lot easier for you guys to see this. So, and if I zoom in, can see what I'm talking about. These little pegs should have been glued on, already aligned up properly, and then painted it, then masked and painted again. But it's all right. It's okay for what it is. It looks good. It's an old kit, you know. It has some mistakes here and there, which we will cover in depth. I put masking tape on the leading edges of this so I can show, you know, keep that tone color from the outside, and then using the russet colors, russet paint. That's painted it like that, so that looks nice. And clearly, if I put that here, it will look good. I did not paint the other parts that make up this closing the missile pod, because I'm not going to open and close it all the time. These connections are super tight, and to pop one out and pop one back in again, I may risk breaking or damaging the part itself. So I don't see myself doing that in the near future. So all this needs is the missile pods. It's already been painted, which I will show off now. So it's painted nice. I gave it the black background, then I painted it the Gundam white, MS white color. I know it looks a little weird to the side, but you're not looking at the side, you're looking at the front like this. So that will be done like that. Gunmetal parts here. That's okay. I mentioned that this crotch part is a bit off in the blue, and I may have to repaint it up again. Try to figure out how I can darken it up again. Did a little detail in there, and I could have easily done some details in here, but again, since the armored part's going to go right on top of it, there's no reason for me to do anything like that. I do have to review the manual and look at the decals. Like here's I'll talk about the decals in a moment, but the decals there's some decals that will go on it, and it will be exposed through the armored parts. So that's something that I'm going to have to work with there. So there's no reason for me to paint this whole section here, especially this part here, which makes up the overall look of the frame. Same thing with the arms. The arms itself, I painted on the inside here and there because it's not going to show off a lot, since once it's in this, it will never come off. I already talked about the knees. That's okay. This one, on the other hand, didn't come out the way I wanted, but I can probably retouch it up again with some panel lining, or maybe remask it and repaint it up so it can cover up the damage. I did put a little part here to give it an extra color tone here, the gunmetal. Not gunmetal, excuse me, gray, metallic gray. This is the one part that I'm kind of not completely 100% happy. So let me just zoom in again. So this whole section is black, but is that masking tape there? I didn't realize that if it was. Give me a minute. Yeah, I think I messed up on something. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that. So this whole thing is black here up to this edge is there. And then I painted the red crest, but a little bit of red paint somehow smeared out during the airbrushing. So that means I have to cover up all this again, cover up the red again, so I can paint that little smidge a little white. I did, and I'm actually put it to the side here, so let me pull it out. I did paint this bluish part here that will go in there, and I didn't paint this one because I wanted to show. These clear part orange goes into the body. This red is already painted and goes in the backpack. I have a green one that I put to the side, and the reasons why I didn't paint that, well, actually I was painting it with a hand brush, but it didn't come out right. I don't have neon green. I'm gonna have to go and buy neon green to finish it up. These two little red parts will be cut off and glued upon to here, where these are located. Some of the other clear parts are not necessary because they're not used. I don't know. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I see here. This kit has issues. Minor issues, but issues. Issues that you can work with if you take a little bit more time. I've done as much as I could. The masking idea came out pretty well, and the putty on some of the parts that I think this one came out the best because I don't see, whoops, I don't see the mask, the lining here. Came out really nice. So this is actually one of my favorite part of the build because it came out perfect. And I think the same thing here as well. You barely see the line. Now this part is the one that I'm kind of a little bit miffed about because I actually removed the masking tape, and believe me, I have a lot of masking tape here peeled off to the side. You guys should see. But there are these little edges here that I did not paint, and I'm going to attempt to hand paint them, you know, carefully. Maybe I'm going to use acrylic paint to paint it on the inside to cover that. But there are certain parts here that I missed with the blue, which I'm going to have to recover up again. I don't know if I can do that with hand painting. I can try, but I'll have to figure that out. I'm not very good at hand painting. I know that's more of an art and more, you know, you got to be really, really skilled at that. I got to learn how to do that. But I don't know. I don't know yet. Yeah, this came out pretty well. Pretty well. I'm going to say this. I'm 90% done because I'm also going to assemble it, which I'm going to show you guys in the next video. I'm going to start cleaning it up. I'm going to figure out if I missed a part here and there. But I'm not going to decal it. I'm going to top coat it once everything's complete. I'm going to top coat it, and then I'm going to decal it after my build of the Penelope, because right now it's the end of the month. I want to start finishing up the Penelope for MosquitoCon. This kit is now almost done for my category number 38 for MosquitoCon, so you guys can see this at the show. I have another kit that I was working on that I did not show. It will be shown in a later video. That getting that one also done, and then the Penelope will be the next. And I don't know if I can swing another kit, but you know what? I'm crazy enough to try, so I'll probably end up doing something quickly and easily for you guys to see. So, what do you guys think about this? Do you think I did okay with this? You know, opinions, comments, what have you? I don't know. But I did the best I could with this. Now let's put the VF-0S together. Is that right? VF-0S? I always keep messing this up. Yeah, the VF-0S Macross Zero Reactive Armored Kit. Let's put it together and see how it looks overall built.